with London. Lee starting in the middle of a scrum. Down to 6 seconds and 5. Lee still working with it. Up top, Kennedy, the shot, score! We're all even at nines with 1 tick left on the clock. We're going to get a foul coming against Johnson and Wales. The Beacons will go a man up. Caravel behind the net. Finds Holmes in tight. He scores. The Beacons get one back. Tortora working 1-on-3. Needs some help. Somehow manages to evade all 3 players and gets across the midfield line. Not out of trouble yet. A player hacking him from behind. Tortora still going towards the crease and will finally pull it off. Can't quite make the catch. Slows it down. Able to find Christensen. Lee in tight. Turns, swerves, shoots, and scores. He's got the hat trick, and the Beacons have the lead. Back and Dillon comes away with the ground ball and the cause turnover. Dillon leading the way. No one's slowing him down. Over to Weiss. Right back to Dillon. Dillon looking for the shot, and he scores! Jack Dillon, the long stick midfielder, cuts it to 1. Up top, Lions with 1 looking for a second. Surrett the save, able to hold on, and Surrett's going to fling it down the length. Still 3 seconds left. Chance in close. Caravel shoots and scores. He beats the buzzer, and the Beacons, what a turn of events. UMass Boston will control the ball coming out of the Johnson & Wales timeout. Johnson & Wales coach Nick Coppola saw something he wasn't happy with and got the timeout, trying to keep his team ahead by 3 goals. The Beacons got 2 early on in the quarter. Will Christensen scored 1, assisted on the other. Adam Caravel finding the back of the net on a tremendous feed from Christensen. But the Beacons gave the ball up in a bad spot. Shot right on target to Morris by Holmes, and Morris the save. The rebound bounces out, and almost picking it up there is Croy Arnold. Goes through the legs, trying to find a teammate. Ball still loose. 2 Wildcats, 3 Beacons, and picking it up is Croy Arnold, who made the nifty play to keep it in along the sideline there through his legs. Arnold trying to get the turn, getting badgered, encumbered, slowed down, however you want to put it, and the Beacons keep possession. Up top, it's Sam Matten as the Beacons will slow it down with 7:15 to play in this second quarter. Matten back up top to Mulligan. You're seeing a lot of freshmen out there for UMass Boston offensively. A lot of guys who maybe aren't even freshmen but are players who were in their first season with this Beacons program. In fact, Croy Arnold is a junior, but he's a transfer from Onondaga Community College. Far side for Holmes, a freshman. Caravel's a freshman. Christensen's a freshman transfer. Mulligan's a freshman. Matten's a freshman. Arnold in tight. The bounce shot in and out of the cage there of Morris. A good look from Arnold, but not quite enough behind it to get it past Bradley Morris, the very impressive freshman who's on a hot streak right now. His last 3 games, 52 saves to 35 goals against, including a 22-save performance against Eastern Connecticut State, another team out of the Little East Conference that was picked just ahead of UMass Boston in the LEC preseason. Ball turnaround shot. Josh Holmes scores, and the Beacons have cut it back to 2. Another good look, and on the turnaround just along the near side, Josh Holmes becomes the 3rd player to light the lamp for the Beacons. Here as Holmes picks up his 6th goal of the season. Give him 13 points. He came in 3rd on the team, and that's a big one for the Beacons to get it back to 2 here. Still plenty of time left in this second quarter. 6:21 to go. The Beacons scored 2 goals in the first 2 minutes, picking up a 3rd one to sandwich that Eric Russo goal on the bad turnover. The ball once again flipped into the defensive zone, ball bouncing around. Anthony Tortora the scoop, and the Beacons senior midfielder out of Medford, Massachusetts will bring it into the offensive end with the Beacons continuing to feel it offensively. They scored 6 goals in the second quarter a year ago down in Providence at Miracle Grove Field. Coming back from an early 3-0 deficit to tie the game at 6-6 at half. Today they fell behind 4-0 after 1 and have scored 3 in the second to cut the deficit to 5-3. Players subbing in and out. Arnold will dump it off for Matten, who's still trying to get in on the scoring action. Sam, a freshman out of Sturbridge, Massachusetts, has scored 2 goals, both on the road, though. Hasn't scored a goal at home where the Beacons are 3-0. Their lone 2 losses on the road in Dudley, Mass., a loss to Nichols where they were doubled up, and then at MIT last Saturday. Christensen looking for the turn. Much better when he's using the traditional right hand. There's a big hit. Christensen's shot goes high off of Morrison. I think we're going to get a stoppage. Let's see who this penalty goes against. The late flag, and we're going to get a slashing call against Johnson and Wales. Let's see who gets called for this one. And it's going to be Augustin who's been active in this one. Jordan Augustin called for interference, and the Beacons already with one man up goal on one chance, looking to make it a 2-for-2 performance. 30 seconds of man-up time for UMass Boston, 1-for-1 on the day. They'll start on the far side. Sam Matten swinging it back out top for Arnold. Arnold to the near side, giving it back and forth with Caraval. Back to Matten, sending it for Christensen. His pass was errant, in and out of the stick there of Arnold. The ball will go over the midfield line, and we're going to see a stoppage, and it'll go against UMass Boston. That'll pretty much kill off the 30-second clock. So the Beacons, an errant pass there, giving it up. Came across midfield, and Johnson and Wills will look to kill off the time and then set up offensively. Here's the guy who was hot early, Max Stone, a pair of goals to start the game. He'll make sure that his team is back to even strength, and now the Wildcats looking to take advantage of this Beacons miscue. Johnson and Wales, in just their 4th year as a Division III program, they've earned more wins in each successive season. They started with just 4 wins back in year 1. That was 2014, and ever since, they went 7-8 in year 2, finished one game over 500 a season ago, and now out to a strong 4-2 start. Pass in tight. Russo behind the back in the goal. Eric Russo has 2 in a row for Johnson and Wales. His team celebrating hard after that one, and quite honestly, that was a beautiful goal. Not quite sure how tight we had that on the camera, but Russo darting towards the net, went behind the shoulder, and not much Surratt could have done about that one. Those are some of the hardest to stop when it comes from an unexpected angle. And Eric Russo, the junior out of West Grove, Pennsylvania, scores his 18th goal in the season. He's second best on the team. Johnson and Wales counters the Beacons' goal with one of their own, pushing the lead back to 6-3. Remember, today was supposed to be the Little East Conference opening day for baseball, softball, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, men's tennis, and even outdoor track, but not so much. This is one of just 3 conference contests going on today. 2 women's lacrosse games and this the lone men's lacrosse game going on in the Little East. UMass Boston leads 2-0. Murphy, the clean face-off draw. That's big working against a guy like Ryan Yersha. Last year, the Beacons had no problems in the face-off X, winning 17 of 27 thanks to Phil Trung, their face-off specialist, having a big day. But Phil Trung graduated, and Western improved from a team rate of 23% to a guy who wins well over 50%. So that was something when the Beacons were talking about this matchup. They said they had to do a good job in the face-off X. Thus far, doing a decent job. We haven't seen many of them, and that was a clean win. Beacons having a chance to add to their lead. Currently already lead 2-0 on goals from Holmes and Smith. This Beacons team healthy for the first time this year. Calvin Lee, the huge addition, making his season debut. The Beacons' leading goal scorer from a year ago with over 50 goals and 80 total points. Beacons' turnover leads to Western starting with the ball from behind their own net. It's Taekwon Bonaparte looking to go through a pair of Beacons. UMass Boston's tried to get physical against this Western team, and they forced a turnover. The combination there of Croy Arnold and Josh Holmes. Now it's Lee out wide. Lee deking around a player. Lee in tight, and his shot gets knocked down. We're going to get a crease violation on Calvin. You can really tell where the crease is because they specifically tried to shovel out that area. So anytime you see a player with his feet in the green around the goal, that's not a good thing if you're on the offensive team's fans. As Western able to get it across midfield, working with it is Murchison, one of the team's better midfielders. Gets it forward for Forrestal. This Western team has 2 players with over 30 points. The Beacons' high point player is Caraval with just 21, but we haven't seen much from Eric Caldwell, the 33-point scorer, or John Forrestal, the 31-point scorer. 31 and 35 in your programs. Up top, it's John Ward over to Ruling, who had a shot knocked down with about a second to go in that first quarter. Gives it over for Robbie Swenson, the big 6'2", 215 attackman. Beacons double teaming as much as possible. Near side, the shot over the head of Surratt, and it's Robbie Swenson giving Weston their first goal of the game. Swenson, his 12th goal on the season. That's 3rd on the team. And John Ward picks up the assist. That's Ward's 6th on the year, good for 3rd on the team. Ward, fun little story about Mahopac, New York. That's a small town 50 miles north of New York City. Mahopac is Algonquin for Lake of the Great Serpent. It's one of the better names behind a name I've ever heard for a city or town. As the ball is loose off the faceoff, and the Beacons win their 2nd straight to start the quarter. Murphy trying to get it over to Lee, and another turnover. So even when you win the faceoff draw, it doesn't mean that you're going to get something offensively going here in this game. There's just been so many turnovers. There were 14 through the first 10 minutes, and now when I try to look over, there's already been 22 here, and we still have 12 minutes to go. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second quarter. So we're averaging just under a turnover a minute, and here we have a chance for another one. Ranta trying to pick it away from Ruling. Ruling able to get it back, though. Gets some help from a teammate, and now the pass towards the far side. Tortora overruns it, still trying to pick it up. Triple teamed, able to get through it for a moment, unable to do so, and John Forrestal picks it up. So Western nearly turned it over twice, and they'll get a 3rd chance here as Western takes their first timeout. Timeout with 12 minutes exactly to go in the second quarter. UMass Boston 2, Western Connecticut State 1 in a low-scoring Little East Conference opener for both teams.